Good morning and welcome to today's class. Today we'll be looking at necklines. Like I said in the note sent to you, 3 positions on the blocks determine the drawing out of your neckline. The shoulders, the back shoulder, the front shoulder, that's one position. Then the CF and your CB. And this is how. Because our neckline is basically on here, our natural neckline, the 3 positions actually determine our natural neckline. Here, your NP, which is on your shoulder seam, and here, SCF, then the CB. You can see NP on the shoulder seam. This is our neckline on the back, and this is the CB. And other things you need to know when drawing out your neckline is that because we do not have that on our body, and our basic block has been constructed with the bust darts and the waist darts, and at the back as well, the shoulder darts and the waist dart. The bust dart in front is also known as the shoulder dart. So bust dart, shoulder dart, working dart. You might read somewhere in some books online, they call it working dart. It's the working dart because it's the one we move around the block. Okay, so we need to get rid of the bust dart first before drawing out our neckline. That will enable us to draw out our neckline. So in this instance, I've transferred, this was the one we used for our dart manipulation. So I've closed the bust dart and I've transferred it to the underarm. Remember our temporary slash, if you've not read it, you should read it. You can transfer the bust dart permanently to this location or temporarily. If you're transferring it temporarily, you don't need to secure your dart on here. You just transfer it here, do whatever you want to do, and close this back and open the remaining of your dart. It might be you want to gather, for instance, in yoke styles, which will be part of our later course. It will be part of the style lines when the course is out. So, or you can read is in the textbook I asked you all to download, so you can read how to go about it. It's very easy, and this is the process actually. You're closing your bust dart to enable you draw out your neckline. So in this case, I've already done that. So you just draw your neckline from wherever you want your shoulder to start. On the shoulder seam, you can move away from NP. Your shoulder point can start from here. It can start from the NP, original NP, and you draw out your neckline, whatever neckline you want to draw, like so. You can move away from it and still draw. You can move away from the shoulder and still want to maintain this position, and you can just draw like that. You still want to maintain this position, fine. You want to move away from the shoulder, all you need to know is the seam, the amount of shoulder length you want on your shoulder. So you can still go like that. You don't have to. So as I was saying, you just draw out your neckline like so. If it's a V neckline you want, it's also fine. You can move your shoulder seam from here as well. It is advisable to leave at least 3 centimeters on here, even if you're doing a wide neckline, until your client is fitting the garment, so that this won't be falling off the shoulder. But you don't have to. What's of if you have a client who has probably come for fitting ones, or who doesn't have time to come for fitting, she just wants you to sew it and she'll just wear it like that. So you need to understand what to do to your block or pattern to make it at least fit or sit well on your shoulder. Not every time all clients will have time to come and fit. They'll just say, okay, just so I'll just, I don't have time, blah 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 blah, just so I'll wear it however it comes out. So if you're doing a wide neckline, which we've already mentioned in our previous lessons, something like this, it is advisable to at least tighten the depth of your dart a little. I usually, so if I'm doing a wide neck like this, because this is wider on the shoulder, and it's, even though it's not on the chest point yet, I still tighten by 0.5 on this position. At this point, once I know where my neckline will pass through, I will come to that part. Let me just open this. At this point, I'll just do 0.5 away and rule my new dart line from that, through that position, from the bust point to the shoulder. It is only advisable. I have tried it and it always worked for me. So you should, that's why I always say you have to keep practicing so that you can know a lot of things when designing. Manipulation is more than just closing your bust dart and opening it somewhere. Style line, if you can't manipulate your dart very well, you have difficulties when you're drawing out designs. So you need to practice. Even those basic ones, you need to practice them. You can't just assume them in your head. You need to actually do them. There are some things you would think in your head and, oh, it will work. But once you put them on paper, trust me, you'll be sweating. And I'm talking from experience. So as we were saying, so that's how to go about it. Mark 1 centimeter or 0.5 on here just to tighten it. Excuse me, just to tighten it a little bit. So that's that. But once you're coming down here, whatever style, whatever neckline you want to do, see, this is on your chest line already, and this is considered a wide neckline. You have to tighten. See, you've almost finished your shoulder seam, which means it's very wide. You're cutting all of this out on your pattern, and you've come down to your chest level. That's the beginning of your cleavage, if you want to say that. So you need to tighten that part. So on that part, you measure what you have, which I've already explained in our previous lessons, what you have on here, and either do half of it or 7/5 of it. It depends. For people with busty, with full bust, they tend, on their on their basic block, they tend to have ease, fullness at the top of their neckline, above their neckline, above their chest. For instance, my Momolade, I'm going to use her for as an example. On her basic block, she has fullness. That's because she has bust. She has full bust. So she's having ease on the top of her chest area, above her chest. So in that case, she can do 75%. That is you find that with people with bust, with full bust, they usually have, because the depth of the bust is causing them to have fullness at the part, on the upper part of their basic block. So you can do 75% instead of instead of 50% to tighten your chest line, because their basic block is not fitted already. But for Mrs. Mamoyenike, excuse me, her own basic block is fitted. It sits well on her chest because she's not busty. Can you see the difference? So she can do 50% tightening on here. So that's that on how to go about wide necklines. Then you can go ahead to draw any kind of neckline, V neckline. Your V can be as wide as this. Your round This is usually called scoop because it's coming down like that. This is the basic neckline, also known as crew neckline. If you take it away a little bit, it becomes crew neckline. Like that. So any kind of neckline whatsoever you need to do, you need to close your bust dart in order to enable you to draw out your neckline, because we don't have that on our body. That's for the front. And for the back as well, it's the same thing. I already showed you how you can get rid of this dart. You can take it here depending on the style you're constructing, you're designing. Just like the front, draw your new slash line, your slash position, your dart position, slash up to this end and close that dart. Then you'll be able to draw out your neckline. Or you can even transfer it to the neckline. If you want to hold it, there are some garments, you see they've held the darts on their neckline. It's part of the design. It will just come straight, or they'll slant it, they'll make it diagonal. You can do it anyhow. Then close it. Close this and this goes in. Close this and this goes in here. So basically that's all you need to know about neckline. So I'll expect you all to practice all the different types of neckline. I'll send them to you and try them on muslin, teru, calico. Try to fit them, or if you want to try them on your fair fabric, that's fine. But you have to take precautions when you're drawing. Once you understand the basics, which is you should know that we don't have that on our body, so you should get rid of this dart either temporarily or permanently. Once you're done with it, you can put it back here. Then another thing you need to know, if you're drawing out a wide neckline, you should tighten your bust dart to enable your chest sits well on your body so it won't gape. And that's it. You need to know that your neckline comes from the shoulder, both in front and back, to your CF and CB respectively. And that's all. That's it. That's all you need to know about necklines. And I hope you'll try them and show them to me. If you have any difficulties when you're doing that, let us know, so I'll be able to. If you don't try them and you don't show me, I won't be able to correct you or say something on them. So you should actually try them and let me see them and fully correct them for you. All right then. See you in next class, which is manipulating the basic torso into a dress foundation. See you then. Bye.